Hello, we're live. Happy Friday. Thank you again for showing up. I know I say it every time we do this, but it's so important. I don't want it to become noise. And if you didn't show up and you registered and you're getting the recording, bless you too. Bless you as well. You know, you have an opportunity to ask questions here, but really just consuming the knowledge is so important. So important for us to move forward together, right? Obviously. So enough of that. Enough of that. Uzo's here with me today as well. She'll be taking your questions in. So chat there. I just mentioned the recording. We're going to send it out when this is over, and I think that's it. So let's get into it. We Forms 2.0. Probably sick of hearing it and saying that by now, but it's a really big deal for us. And I just wanted to do something that I don't do often, which is just pat ourselves on the back. Obviously when we release something like this that's this large, there's always going to be continual improvement. There's absolutely no doubt. So we're very aware of that. But I think the way that we rolled it out and got it out without disturbing too much of what was already existing, I think it was great. It was probably one of the best releases I've seen, and I've been here for a little bit. So um, thanks, Charity Engine. Thank you, Charity Engine. So Forms 2.0. Okay, so feedback, right? Obviously, we can't do it without you. I know it's not a flippant thing to say. It is true, but obviously we can't do everything you ask us to do either, right? Feedback in this manner here, feedback. So headset feedback. Please use this when you want to tell us, discuss with us some strategy, maybe a template that you'd like to see, some suggestions about the forms and the module, right? This is absent of any heavy technical stuff. And then, of course, you always submit your support tickets to us for anything that's technical. And we've received some for sure. So people who have given feedback already, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. People who've interacted with these cases, thank you. Have patience, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, all those words, and I've done nothing yet, right? That's awesome. Sorry about that. Let's go. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing some of this, and I don't know how many templates I have in here, but in my other test environment, it's like a gajillion. So I don't want to cause any panic when I go here and you see tons of templates. Yours is not going to be that long. But regardless of whether it's not long, there's some strategy here to match up 2.0 templates with 2.0 layouts. And there has just been some confusion about that. So that's all I'm going to do is just go over that, right? So let me just create a new donation form. Okay, great. And then design tab here, right? So default template, that's 2.0, okay? Default template, that's 2.0. The layouts, 2.0, right? Default template 2.0. So what am I looking at here? I'm looking at the default template with the standard layout. Okay, so default template is defining the field variables, some of the look and feel for the fields, some of the look and feel for the fields. But field orientation, things like that. The layout is exactly kind of like what it says. It's how we're laying out the fields. Then the fields are on the left, content on the right, et cetera, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to say. That's the separation, right? That's the separation for the stability, effort of stability as well, right? Because we can leave the templates alone knowing that our default field set is fine and create a layout then that moves the field set around, right? So we don't have to mess with the default field set. Let's just take a look at this really quickly. It's going to look like a standard form like this, right? You'll see that the rendering of the buttons is accurate. It's full width across the screen. This is the standard layout, right? Okay, so then what can we do here? We want to change it, right? So we want to change it to, let's say we want to jump into the future, right? So we want to do something split story card left form. You can get an idea of what that looks like here. Left form, split story. You know what? Let me add some content if you don't mind. Give me a second. Is it called lip? Lipsum. Lipsum. Okay. I'm just running slow. Hope everything's okay. And let's get rid of these tabs. Okay. Let's go to content. I'm just going to put it in the top content here and save it. And then I'll go back to the design here in a second. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. It's obvious I don't do much planning here. I do like to navigate through the system as you would see me navigate. I think that's really important. But saying that, because I did do some planning for a couple things down the road I'm going to show you, right? So I don't want to make a liar out of myself, but I do believe that's the best way to learn application, is to see someone who's efficient at it, use it, for sure. Okay, great. Here we are. So I went split story card. Then I have to match up the template for that, right? I have to match up the template for that, which is the split story. I told you I have a lot here, right? It was card, split story card, split story card. Do you see when I now lay the template down, we have merged together the correct template and the correct layout, and now we're going to get something that looks pretty good. Whereas previous it didn't, but I see this text over here. I see it ghosted. So this is going to be the page background, right? It's going to do something like this and then save it. And we'll just have a look at this. Let's have a look, right? So split story, right? We're in general. Click the link. We come in and we have a nice looking form. A nice looking form. A nice looking form opposed to what, Brian? Opposed to what? Opposed to this. I'll show you something that looks like this. If we do, hey, we want split story, but we do something like the default layout with the split story. You see, this is the field layout and the field conditions and variables that were in the default. Now we're just taking that default and laying it down here on top of the split story card. It's not going to look that good because it's not the alignment that we intended with that layout, but we can take a look at it. Right, so here it is, right? Obviously there's a text is black, so that it's not good, right? But you see, this is exactly the type of form that we saw in the standard layout. It's just squeezed to fit into this panel, right? So again, that's it. So if you see this, know that you're using the default layout. If you're using one of these splits like this, you shouldn't be using the default layout. Move over to the split story. If we do another one, we'll just do another one. We'll do like split panel right form would then line up to split panel right form. Let's see if that's true. Split panel right form. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So then you can see this has the content on top. I don't know why, but this is some configuration issues here with the text size. But obviously this is can get to your information next, right? So this is compelling image, text about whatever, and then this is procedural, step through procedural. So some color problems going on here as well, but that's up to me for sure, right? Let's do one more. I think there's one more, right? Split story card. Did I already do that one? Left form, split story panel. Right form, split story panel, like this. Let's see. Okay, so a different type, right? Where now we have the content out on the left instead of the what I think I called it compelling content, right? It's an image, whatever. And then the form now, the form on the right, not procedural and not stepped, right? I don't like this color combination. Sorry, y'all, but it's whatever the color this is. Is this like burgundy or something? I don't know. But you see how that works, right? So that's some confusion that's been going on. And you saw some of those buttons had some text bleeding out of it. Just grab a screenshot, send it to us. Let us know what templates you were using so that we can come over here and we can recreate it and we can check it out. It may be something that we can solve, for you here in support, right? Just let us know. So that's really it. That's really all I wanted to show you about the donation form. You can do the same thing with the event forms. You can do the same thing. But this has been the big thing that's come in so far, I think, is people leaving it on the default, right? And then just switching through these layouts. But when you leave it on the default, you're of course going to get the default field set. I'm just going to show it one more time. Because I think that you can see there's the default field set, so it's been coming in like that saying, hey, the fields don't look like they looked in an image or a picture or a demo, right? But please keep using it. I think it's great. We've had a lot of questions for sure. So thank for everybody who has written in, everybody who's put in a case, everyone who's emailed me personally. Really appreciate it. Okay. I told you that we need your input. We're releasing, I believe, 3 new templates. I don't know what they are, but they'll be available at the end of the month, next month, something very soon, for sure, something very soon. So look out for that as well. I'm sure we'll send some emails about that, right? Okay, tips and tricks. Let me show you, just being in forms, if you don't know, I haven't told you or you haven't heard it on the webinar, I'm a huge believer in cleaning up the web forms. Why? Fraud is one reason, right? Fraudsters are always on the prowl using their bots to find some payment processor to slide some $1, $5 transaction through so that then they can take the card and do what they want to do with it, right? This is always happening. We're doing a good job of protecting, but it's always on the hunt. It's always on the hunt. I always say it's the bad guys out there ruining it for the good guys always. Now we have to take measures, against, I know, never mind. It's not a morality class, right? So we would want you to turn them down, deactivate them, right? As they're either in phase or out phase. So obviously event is easy. The event goes on in a certain period of time. The event is over. We're going to deactivate the form. And what do I always say? I always say, come here, deactivate, obviously, because unless you deactivate, you won't get the redirect settings. You're going to redirect, and then you're going to put a redirect URL in here. Well, what type of redirect URL? Well, any type you want, really, it just depends. So if this is an event, right, maybe like all events go to the event web page, right? Maybe donation pages go somewhere else. Maybe not. Maybe they all go to the same place. But we've made this easier for you, is what I'm telling you, to redirect all forms. There's a catch-all now. It's over here in the configuration module. And again, just making this easier because it's so important to do it. Don't leave public assets out there available. Don't do that. Best case scenario, someone signs up and thinks they signed up for 2026, but they actually signed up for 2025, right? And I know the events have controls beyond just the form, the ticketing. I know that, but I'm just saying, bots can still get to it, right? That's why I was saying about the human factor, Okay, Brian, configuration, account settings, right? I had written it down here. Yeah, account settings. And then this is going to be web forms. And then here's the offline redirect URL. So all you have to really do now, unless, like I was saying, there's some special consideration to deliver people to a particular page because it's a particular type of form, that we have this offline redirect URL now. So all you need to do is just turn the forms down, just deactivate them. And then this will take care of the rest for you, right? So just making it a step easier to gain that compliance, because I'm telling you, we see it all the time. The bots are out there just searching and searching and searching. If you turn the form off, it won't be able to find it. Even if it does find it, it won't find the code. That's the purpose of us deactivating it. There's nothing in the background for it to get after, right? So, okay, that's a very simple one. There it is. I'm going to follow this simple one up with one that is not simple. Not simple
Brian?
because we made changes. Yes, Uzo, what's up?
Okay. Christine was asking if this is also for the forms, the membership forms for the 2.0 form. Does it take effect? The answer is yes, but I wanted to say it out for anyone else who might be thinking.
You're saying Forms 2.0 is for all form types?
Right.
Yes. Yes. Agree. That's it.
Yep, that's it. Chris, if
Super
I'm
simple.
wrong, Brian
Super
said it.
simple.
So.
Yeah, well, we agreed. We agreed.
Chris, you can talk to
We're going down
Brian.
together. It was we're going down together. I'm taking you with me for sure. I'm just joking. I'll be the last one on the ship, Uzo. You can jump out. You can jump out. Sheridan Foundation events have been. I think I said this today. Taking a moment to kind of settle. We made some changes, and it's apparent to me that the changes are not known um, or people get stuck in a workflow in a routine, right? It's called taking your cheese, right? We stole your cheese for sure in events, but I want to show you. I want to show you a concept here, and the concept is registration check-in, registration check-out, and satisfying a balance on the registration. This has been the driver for multiple changes for us inside the events section, and I just want to expose why, how, right? And if you have questions, you can ask, but I don't know if I can answer all of them. But please ask. I'm not scared to take them in, right? And we'll find out for sure. So what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Let's go to this form. I have an event, and the event has a web form. Sounds about right, right? Very simple event. This is what I did stage yesterday. Here you go, webinar 522. And then the form, the associated form would be named the same here, registration for webinar 522. Okay, let me make sure that this is in the test mode so I can test it. And it is. I don't think we need any emails either, really. Okay, great. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, excellent. Ready to go. I'm going to buy one ticket. Why not? I'm going to show you the one-to-one workflow, the one-to-one relationship. This is registrations to transaction, right? You'll see. I'm getting at something for sure. No additional. No additional. Not that generous today. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think I did that right. Total 100. Great. Success. You got a ticket. Everything's fine, right? So let me go to form and go to transactions, and we'll see what we expect to see. We're going to see one transaction for sure, because this transaction is only for one thing. It's for that ticket and for the registration. We can see that the event has been attributed to it. And if we manage the transaction, we're going to see that inside of there, you have an event registration as well. Attribution, event registration. Here it is, right? I'm not even going to manage it yet. I'm going to show you. This is very typical. This is what you would expect, right? I will jump over to the event for a second and do registrations here, just to show you that there is only one here, webinar 522. Here I am. So only one registration for me for one ticket. Everything looks great. So then let me preface what's going on here with the registration. Then if I manage the registration, actually, I'm not going to do that. This is not a good example. Not a good example. Just notice that everything here worked as it should, right? My next workflow, my next use case here is going to be purchasing multiple tickets. And this is where we have made changes. So I'm going to show you. I just call this standing on a ledge, right? I wanted to make sure that we're solid foundation, that this is working appropriately. This is okay. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one and clean it up here. Delete the registration as well. Okay. So I'm going to go in, same scenario, except this time I'm going to buy 3 tickets, right? I'm still purchasing. They're for me, right? I'm the attendee, etc. I'm just going to Okay, everything worked out great again, like no problems. So we'll go to the transactions here and search, right? And then now we see a change, a change. Instead of one transaction, we see 4 transactions, right? So what's going on here? What's going on the screen? We can see that we have soft credit type transactions now, and we can see that each one of these transactions has a ticket cost or a ticket price on it, right? Um, and we know we bought 3 tickets. So this is a placeholder and a representation of the ticket, the one-to-one ticket relationship between the ticket's value and what's been paid, ticket's value and what's been paid. For example, let me go over the registrations and I'll show you. We'll search this. Now we see, wait a minute, there was 4, but there's only 3 over here, right? There was 4 transactions, but only 3 over here, right? And I'll tell you why, because this is transactional for transaction reporting. Transactional for transaction reporting. This is the transaction that created these 3 registrations. So if you needed to know what the value of this transaction was, you would come to the transactions screen and search from that form and find this transaction. That would have nothing to do actually with these soft credits. Would have nothing to do with them. So in the transactional reporting, you can remove the soft credits. Is it method? Yeah. This looks silly. I mean, there's only a couple here, right? But I'm just saying, just to show you, if I select all of them except soft credit, then you'll see my transaction reporting is now correct. It's correct, right? Um, excellent. Let me take this off. I was going to say something, but I'll say it later. It'll be a secret. It'll be a secret. I'm joking. Okay, great. So then I'm over in the registrations. Why I only see 3? Because these are registrations, not transactions. I bought 3 tickets and I got 3 registrations for those tickets. Okay, here comes the connection to the soft credits or placeholders, right? Here comes the connection to that. The connection to that is simply that you see we have a balance here. And in order to accurately reflect the true balance on this individual registration, we had to put a payment behind it. And that's what we did. We put a soft credit placeholder payment behind this. If we manage this registration, we're going to see that payment is attached here to this registration. One of the 3, and the other 2 are attached to the other 2, but one of the 3 transactions here is attached here. And then when we go to this balance, we're going to see that there is a 0 balance. Why? Because the rate of this ticket was $100 and you have a $100 payment attached to it. I hope that's clear. I'm going to keep going. I'm just saying, I hope that's clear. We're creating the soft credit placeholder to achieve the balance reconciliation here on the individual event registrations, right? So why? Why? Because if I wanted to, I could do this, right? And this is a use case for this. This is a use case for this as well. Registration deposit, down payment, right? The event costs $1,000, but we're going to let you get in with $100 down payment. Well, you've satisfied that, but it's actually 1,000. So now we're going to come in and we're going to change the rate on this registration to 1,000. I realize this is manual. Bear with me. I realize it's manual. But when we do that, then we see we now have a balance of $900. When we go back to the registration screen and we search this, we see that the balance of $900 is here as well. So now this balance needs to be satisfied. It needs to be satisfied. So, well, how would you do that? And many different ways, right? Many different ways. Let me show you one way to do that now. If I'm in the registration here and someone, yep.
Okay, just a couple questions before you move on, Brian. Excuse me, James is asking if on the transaction listing screen you can highlight the soft credits and delete them.
Yes. Yes, you can. Absolutely, 100%. You can.
And okay.
But just know that when you do that, the registration is going to have a balance on it because there's no offset payment. I want to say that the registration is going to have a balance. If you don't care about the balance, that's great. You can run a very simple event, and that simple event can just be, I'm coming to buy one ticket, I'm coming by myself, everything's copacetic in that manner, and move on with life. You will not see any soft credits when that happens, right? That's all clear, right?
Mhm. Yeah, there's an
Clear to
additional.
us, Uzo.
Hey
Go
James,
ahead.
let us know if that
Yeah, let
answers
us
the
know, James,
question.
please.
Yeah. James also wants to know why was the QRC code added to the registration report, and how would you use this?
It's for check-in,
Right.
check-in.
Mhm.
So you could have somebody with, let's say, I always say iPad. Maybe there's something new. I'm getting old. I don't know. PearPad. I'm not sure, but you could scan the code, boop, and it'll take you directly to the registration. This is how you check them in, and then you would once it would bring it up for you individually here, and then you would just say check in, right? And then when you click check in, you're checking the person in. I'm going to walk through this in a second, right? Because this also affects the checkout, how they check in. But this is for efficiency of checking in. Just scan, check in, you're on your way. Scan, check in, you're on your way, right? Probably could be even more efficient than that, but it is a step forward in efficiency, 100%. So, okay, excellent. Anything else?
Nope. All good.
Okay.
Well, keep going, and then James wanted me to say thanks to you. So thank you,
Yeah, of
Brian.
course. Yeah, absolutely. 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 And for gosh sake, Uzo, if you hear me say something wrong, step in there, right? For sure. Or
Yeah.
excuse me, if you know more about the check-in, we'll hear from you.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
hold
got it.
on. One additional question from Christine. Hey, Christine. She's saying she loves it crystal clear, but she wants to know, except why does um the bill payouts transaction history have both the soft credit and the actual transaction, which inflates the transaction history with the soft credits?
On the transaction listing screen.
I believe
Yeah,
why does the
because on the
Bayer
go ahead.
the bill payer's transaction history? Christine, we'll keep
Hmm.
going, but we can take this offline. Just we can talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. So inflated where? Because we suppress that in lifetime giving and we suppress that in canned and rolled up
Well,
automatic reporting like that. Go ahead.
I think maybe if you pull up that person's transaction on the listing screen, it will
Mhm.
include the soft credit. And I guess if you're not
It will.
paying attention, you would think that it's the total is higher because of the soft credits.
Yeah, totally. That's why we have sticky filtering, right? So if you eliminate the soft credits, then they won't show
Mhm.
up, right? You
Yeah.
return, it'll be the same. But then also through Report Builder, you just build yourself a report with the soft credits taken out, and then you
Mhm.
call it Event Reg Transaction Report, and you go there, right? So I want to be really clear about the separation of the reporting that we've made here. So transactional reporting would be for transactional information only. Registration reporting would be for registrational information only, because the payments are creating the balance that takes the place of having to chase down any transactional or revenue numbers for that, and we chase everything on the balance of the registration. And if you need to export for balance, you can export for it like that, right? um, I know that wasn't at 100% what the question was about, but I agree. We have various ways to remove that soft crediting from the event when you do it. So you're going to go to the transaction module, put in your event, bring up all your transactions, suppress your soft credits, set all of your other filters, save it as a report, and move on with life. Right? Does that sound right? Awesome.
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll take good. Good is good enough for Friday. Good enough for
Yeah.
Friday.
Agree.
We're open 5 days a week, y'all. We're open 5 days a week. You can reach us anytime. That's an old man joke. Never mind. Okay, great. I wrote down where I was at. Any more questions?
No, we can move on.
Okay, we're going to come back, or there's no more.
There's no more.
Okay, great.
I'll reach
Um,
out. Yeah, we're good.
okay, great. So the registration. What I was saying about this registration is that the payment is now attached here, right? But there's a balance because we upped the rate in the ticket. We allowed them to come in for 100, but now we need to collect the rest. So here's a manual way that we can collect the rest, right? They sent us a check for $900. That's great. So what do? Add new payment. I got the check in hand. I'm going to add it here, right? Let's see if I can add it here. Let's see, it was 900, right? Confirm check number, date, and save. Attributions, contacts, all that's pre-filled, obviously. And then just move back to the registration. You'll see now that we have 2 payments attached to this registration instead of 1, right? That's something new, for sure. That's something new. The way that they're attached and shown and satisfy the balance. Now you see the balance is back to 0, so that we know this person's ready to check in, right? And that's what we're going to do next, right? But I want to show you a different way to do this as well. So I'm going to take this check and I'm just going to like delete it out. And then I'm going to just go see if I can actually find a transaction here. Oh, I can go into my record, just like we were talking a minute ago, right? The transaction roll here. And I bet I don't have any for 900, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to add some, right? Here's 1,000. What's pending? Pending is not positive revenue. Pending. A lot of them are pending. Okay. As an example, I'm just going to take this. So someone gave a credit card donation, and inside of that donation was the rest of this registration amount, plus the money for a t-shirt, but also they owed for something from last year, so they paid that, and then maybe they paid a sustainer invoice as well by accident, right? They didn't pay it the right way. It happens. Trust me, it happens. So I would go into this and manage this, and I know this is only $25. I know, bear with me. It's not a good test, but because it's not going to satisfy the balance, we'll change the balance to satisfy. You can go here, and you can say apply to registrations. Now it's going to ask you to pick the registration. So I'm going to grab the registration number. Oh boy. There we go. Search for it. It'll bring it up. I'll say that's the one. How much money do I want to apply there? Well, I want to apply $10 there. And apply. Okay. So that's there. Then I save it. All right. So now I've taken a portion of this sustainer credit card payment, whatever, we're making stuff up, right? And I added it to the registration. If I refresh now, we'll see now there is 2 on there as well. And you'll see here again, a soft credit placeholder was created. Excuse me, a soft credit placeholder was created for this $10 as well, right? This is how we're splitting that transaction in order to satisfy the balance. And obviously we didn't satisfy it, but we took it down by 10, right? We took it down by 10. So, okay, that's great. That's great. So let me just move to a check-in cycle, right? We're just going to pretend like this is satisfied, but I'm going to go ahead and leave the balance, and we'll do exactly like we said. We'll move to this check-in cycle. So they're here and they're ready, and they want to check in. So the first thing we see here at check-in now is we are connecting payments with check-in. So you know why? Because this might be an auction, right? There might be merchandise that can be purchased around the event, etc. Right? Especially for auctions. This is the same card we'll use for auctions as anything, right? Here you see it required for bidding. Great tooltip, Charity Engine. Great tooltip. So yes, I want to use this card that I have on file. Why do I have it on file? I used it previously for a donation. I used it previously for a sustainer. It's in my wallet, right? It's in my wallet. I was going to jump over there if I still had my person record open just to show you. Payment info is over here. Right, 4111111. The card I always use, right? It's on file, of course it is. So I do want to use that card. That's valid for me. That's what I'm doing. If I did not, then obviously we'd be collecting a new card here, and then that would show up, right? But I do want to use this one. So just check me in. Now I'm checked in, right? I'm checked in. So what am I going to do? I'm going to run around the event and do a bunch of stuff. Auctions might be one, but that's not applicable to me here, but could be. What else could be? Merchandise here, right? This connects to the merchandise module in Charity Engine where you can list your products and sale prices there. I'll show you a really cool one here in a second, but merchandise, if I just want to add a merchandise, I totally could. I have merchandise here. You may not have merchandise in your Charity Engine instance, right? So if you take a look at it, something you're interested in, just let us know. I'm going to say this is $100 more and save. Very, it comes these tabs like Charity Engine always does, right? So what's the item? I'm going to add the item, right? It's, I think there's t-shirt or something in here. Charity Engine t-shirt, one, save. Now I have a t-shirt in here. I have it saved and the whole thing saved. I do, right? And then I can go back to my registration. And I can see I have one merchandise here now, right? So quantity of one. And then you'll see as well, the balance now has gone up to 990 from 890 to 990. That makes sense, right? That makes sense. Here's something else you can do. So if you don't have merchandise module, you don't have merchandise there, you could just simply be like, what do you have? You know, oh, you got 7 items or whatever. So I just want to create a new invoice, right? Just an invoice for payment. So I can do it here now. Do you want to create it for 990? Is that what you want to do to satisfy the balance here? Or no, you want to create it for something above and beyond, right? You can totally do that as well. I just wanted to show you can create the invoice here. Let's do an invoice for like 400, right? And then you can just save this. Like I said, contact and everything is in the background. We're doing all that for you. You just need to save it here. But this works like just like any other invoice. Now there's an option here. They can go and do the pay online now, right? And that invoice can be paid, and then the transaction can be attached to the registration and satisfy that, immediately, right? Excellent. Okay, so let's go back to the registration and see what that looks like now. I have my invoice, right? So let's see. Excellent. So what happens now, right? The invoice is not necessary. I'm just going to delete it. It's a way to get the payment now, but I'm going to show you how you can get the payment before they leave, because they should pay before they leave, right? So let's go back to the registration. Let's just do a search. Right now, you can see we're displaying to you the merchandise that was ordered in line here, which it would explain why there's a balance. I know it's an awfully expensive shirt, I realize, but auction items as well will be listed here. The auction items where you were a winner will be listed here, right? So just having the visual capability to see, to understand what's happening here helps, right? And then we want to go ahead and check out, right? So it tells me right away, you got a balance. You got a balance of 990. It needs to be satisfied, right? So you've paid 110. So how do you want to do it? No payment? I don't know. I don't like that one, right? You can pay now, like right now, like give me a credit card, right? You can totally do that. Or you can pay online. This is the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to send you your invoice right now and you pay it, right? You can do that. Or you can just go ahead and check out using the existing card, right? And there's an option here for an additional donation as well, but I can just hit checkout, right? Send email would be like an acknowledgement. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, right? Excellent. And then if I search the registration, you'll see now that my balance is 0 and I'm checked out. So that's how that whole thing works. That's how that whole thing works. As far as soft credit placeholders, why they exist, balance on events, balance on the registrations, et cetera, right? So let me just take a look at my notes and make sure I said everything I wanted to say. So then now, if we go to the event, there's a couple things over here that's changed as well. Right, so we have some totals here now, and bear with me. I don't know, yesterday I had some stuff, today I've had some stuff, this morning I had some stuff and deleted it all. But it says here amount 1,040, right? So, and it says it's 3 donations, right? 3 donations. So if I click on these, I should be able to see them. And I think I was looking yesterday here, right? Payment status paid for the event shows returns, right? So this is coming to $1,000. What did it say? The event, 1,040. So $40 missing somewhere, but it's fine, right? Because it's probably my fault, right? And then, so I talked about transaction separation from registration separation. So this is it. Donations is going to take you to the donation page where you look at the donations for the event with the filtering applied. Registrations, if you click the amount, is going to take you to the registrations page. Here's the 3 registrations where then you can then download this into a registration report. What's going to be in here? Tickets, ticket sale price is going to be in there, right? So again, we're not we're not we're not so concerned with the one-to-one relationship from the transaction amount to the registration anymore. We're concerned about the registration balance. So you can get the registration amount from the ticket sale price there, right? You can get that there to know what they paid for a ticket, how many tickets they have purchased, et cetera, right? Okay, great. And then the one last thing is a really cool one here. This total raised, right? If we click this, this takes us to then what we call the fund raised details, right? Where we get a complete breakdown of what's going on. So there's a donation here made today, the 990, right? Because it doesn't recognize that was for the registration, right? The registration, ticket one, right? It was 100, then 1,000. Here's that $40 donation, right? And then $10 donation, right? Because of, even though it says event registration, it was a donation, right? They purchased something for 40, purchase something for 10. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I confused myself, but this is a really nice report. Then you can just download this thing from and put it in Excel and do whatever you need to do with it there, right? Was there anything else? Partial affecting reporting, create the reg or check. No, that's it. That is it. But that is a big change for us, and we get a lot of questions on that, a lot. And I just wanted to show everybody that, just to again stand on a ledge together. That this is how it is now. This is how it is now. So, events is a huge module. I tried to walk through that comprehensively, but obviously there's things that I missed there. So if you have any questions about your workflow or how that works, you can ask them now, or you can enter a case. Either way, we'll get back to you for sure. For sure. Uzo, is there any questions?
There was some follow-up questions from Christine, but I think this would be a good one to take off because I know they have the events. They have
Some
different
particulars
workflow.
to their event?
Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
so. So I already told
Gotcha.
Christine we can meet with her next week if she has some free time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If we can create a case and solve it that way, send her a video, we'll do that too. However we
Great.
can help. However we can help.
Awesome.
Okay. That's it. 15 minutes early today. I love it. I love it. Everybody have a great weekend. If you don't have any other questions, we'll see you next time.
All right. Cheers, y'all.
All right.